Hey, I'm Liz, and this is Pancakes Makes. Get comfy, and let's hang out for a bit. Welcome back to episode 6 of my Building Stardew Valley series. Today, we'll be recreating Elliott's beach shack. Hey, Elliott. The new farmer we've all been expecting, and whose arrival has sparked many a conversation. I didn't know my moving in was such a hot topic, but I guess any news is big news in such a small town. I'm Elliott. I live in the little cabin by the beach. It's a pleasure to meet you. Pleasure to meet you too. We're going to take a quick look inside your house if you don't mind. Elliott is Pelican Town's struggling author who moved to the valley just 1 year before the player. The interior of his cabin is laid out as a modest studio. The main features being his writing desk, a piece of art by his friend Leah, and a piano. In his dialogue, he talks about it being dark and full of spiders, but despite it being sparsely decorated, I think it looks kind of welcoming still. Now that we've gotten a look at the home in Stardew Valley, let's jump into building in The Sims 4. To keep with the description of it in Stardew, I wanted the exterior of Elliott's cabin to look quite worn. This wood paneling from Spooky Stuff and this flooring from Get Famous definitely look like they've been weathered by the seaside over the years. In my interpretation of Elliott, I imagine he's originally from the Fern Islands, so I put a Pacific Islander twist on his home. You can also see this reflected in how I designed his sim character, who we'll see later on. This makes sense to me because Elliott is not a native to Pelican Town, and he has a line of dialogue about it taking him hours to do his hair in the morning, which makes me think he must have naturally curly hair that he's straightening in order for it to take that long to style. Plus, Stardew is in need of more non-white characters anyway. In my Building Stardew Valley series, I'm recreating Pelican Town in Brindleton Bay, which is a New England-inspired world in The Sims 4, and that ties into Elliott's backstory. It reminds me of how in real life, so many artists and authors travel to New England to get inspired and work on their pieces, so it definitely makes sense for Elliott to move here. Using lots of doors and windows from island living on a build that's in a world that gets winter may not make a lot of sense in theory, but let me explain. I imagine this cabin was originally a fishing shack that was only used in the summer and didn't have electricity, so you'd want it to be quite breezy to keep things cool. I'm also pretending that the slats on the doors and windows could be closed up when it's cold out. As for the other windows, I would have liked to have been able to put shutters on them, but we don't have any of those as separate items in the game. So maybe either pretend there are shutters that could be installed in the winter or hang up some curtains. Hey, it's not perfect, but I like the look of it and it doesn't actually negatively impact the Sims in-game, so I'm choosing to ignore it. For the interior, I tried blending traditional and Victorian decor with island and Polynesian aesthetics to fit with Elliott's proper, poetic personality and the Fern Islands backstory I gave him. It's a bit of an odd combination, but Elliott's a bit of an odd fellow and it all meshes together somehow. Elliott's upright piano is a main feature of his home in Stardew Valley, but we only have grand pianos in The Sims. So I built a custom one here by stacking these two console tables around this keyboard. I think it looks pretty good as a replacement, and it's actually functional. In Stardew, Elliott doesn't have a kitchen, but functionally we need one in The Sims. So I added one here that matches the beach shack vibes and keeps with the blue and brown color scheme of his cabin. I usually put showers in my Sims bathrooms, but I think Elliott is for sure a bath person. Plus, I could absolutely get behind Elliott being a mermaid, and having a bath in their house would be a must. Another feature of his cabin is a piece of art by Leah, so I put in a few wood sculptures throughout the home that could have been sculpted by her. To keep the build small, I decided to create a lofted space for his bedroom and writing area. Having the bed and desk next to each other makes sense, so Elliott can easily start writing regardless of what time it is, whether it's first thing in the morning or late into the evening, without having to climb up and down the ladder. That's pretty much the whole build. I definitely took a lot of liberties here to make a more interesting build and backstory in The Sims 4. I think the mixing of the Victorian and Islander aesthetics wrapped up in a worn down beach shack definitely suits my vision of Elliott, but let me know what you think in the comments. Now let's take a peek of Elliott's new friends and life as a struggling author here. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, click the like button. I have plenty more builds in this series coming, so if you want to see more, be sure to subscribe and ring the notification bell so you don't miss anything. Remember, be kind to yourself today, and I'll see you next time.